Would you like to can some beautiful ripe peaches? Okay, get 3 baskets of very ripe peaches. Get 6 or 7 quart jars, mason jars, brand new with brand new lids, and wash them in hot soapy water. Then let them air dry. I've got mine on a clean towel here. Then wash your peaches. I use a little nail scrubby brush to make sure I get all the gunk and dirt off of them. And then once you've got them clean, what you want to do is dunk them a few at a time in hot boiling water. Let them sit a little longer than this, maybe more like 10 seconds. This wasn't quite long enough. It was fine, but it would be better if it was a little bit longer. And then what you do is you dunk them immediately in ice water. And what this does is it makes the skins kind of crack, so then you should just be able to rub them off and peel them off like this. It comes off pretty easy. It's easier if the fruit is quite ripe, and harder if it's not, so it's good to make sure they're really ripe. Then once you've got your bowls of these beautiful skinless peaches just glowing there, what you want to do is cut them up. So I take a very sharp knife. This one belonged to my Nana. I cut along the seam of the peach. There's always a seam running lengthwise along the peach. And then I try to pry it sideways to see if I can get it to come off in halves. If I can't, and I didn't get a lot with this batch, then I cut in quarters and I pry off a quarter at a time, as you can see here. Again, if they're ripe, it should come off pretty easily. Actually, it's kind of feels like magic to just be able to peel all of these off. And then you just pull the pit out on that last one. And there you go. And we've got this big batch of cut up peeled peaches are ready to can. So you make a sugar syrup. I used a light syrup, so it was 6 cups of water and 2 cups of sugar. You simmer them for 5 minutes, and then once that's done, you pack your clean mason jars. Try not to get them all over the place. It's hard to do this when you're filming one-handed. You pack them full of the hot peaches, and then you top it up with the sugar syrup, and you top it up to 1 inch from the top of the jar. You got to leave that head space at the top of the jar, otherwise you run into problems. All right. So then once that's done, most canning kits come with a little stick like this. You can also use a spatula or something, and you just tamp it down to make sure there's not a lot of air bubbles in there. Then you wipe it off the rim of the jar with a clean towel, and then you get your new snap lid and the ring, and you just put it on finger tight, not super tight. Once you've packed all of your jars full of peaches, you then immerse them in boiling water in a big canning pot, and you bring that to a boil, and then once it's boiling, you process them by boiling them for 25 minutes. Peaches are a high acidity fruit, but we take no chances here. All right, so then you pull them out. You try not to tilt the jars. As you pull them out, you try to keep them pretty much upright. You set them there, you let them sit for 20 minutes. You should start to hear the thwack of the lid sealing, and there's